You got a bad cold? Sinuses. Hope you feel better. What are you taking? What are you taking? You probably need an antibiotic. You might need an antibiotic. Is it up here? You have a lot of gunk coming out. Is it clear? Okay, you're good then. That'll be, that's the house call, that's $50. Speaking of house call, back when I was growing up out here, our community doctor lived over, you know where that house juts out off the side? It almost gets in the way of traffic. It's just yeah. His house was just adjacent to that, and down in the back in the woods a little bit, and he had a clinic back there. And I'll never forget the first time he made a house call that I recall, and he did it in horse and buggy. He got his first car in 1954 or something. I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
Good evening. Welcome, everyone that's in council chambers this evening. If you could take your seat, we're a little bit behind schedule. We had a lengthy executive session this evening. I'd like to welcome everyone that's in attendance here this evening to our regularly scheduled meeting for April the 23rd. We also welcome those that are streaming and watching online and at home on TV. A few things about our agenda this evening. A few highlights. We've got 6 different areas of special recognition. We will meet this evening as a beer board to have a public hearing on a particular application as well. Our invocation this evening will be led by our Parks Director, Pam Beasley. Our Vice Mayor, Mary Ann Gibson, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Please bow your heads with me and let's pray. Gracious and Heavenly Father, you are indeed the giver of all good gifts, and we thank you for your abundant blessings and for our wonderful community, Germantown. Tonight we continue to seek your wisdom, guidance, courage, and strength, Lord. Be with us in our deliberations and help us to be wise in the decisions we make for the good of all those who have placed their trust and confidence in our leadership. Father, we would ask you to be with all of those in need this week. Fill them with your love, restore them, give them peace, inspire them with your grace. May this spring season lead us outdoors and connected to the beauty and wonder of nature. We ask these things in your holy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Brings us to item number 4 on our agenda this evening, setting the agenda. The Board of Mayor and Aldermen meets regularly at 5:30 in executive session and thoroughly reviews the agenda that was published and printed to the public. During the time of our executive session, 2 items were recommended to be moved to the consent agenda. Those items would be number 11 and 12 on the regular agenda. Item 11 is change order number 1, Germantown Athletic Club renovation Phase 3 project closeout. That'll move to item F on the consent agenda. Again, that is item F now. And item 12, resolution 18R09, participation in purchasing cooperative arrangement for procurement purposes, will move to item G on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to accept the agenda as modified?
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mayor, I do have
Sure.
a bit of discussion. Did I interrupt Alderman Yonda? You have some? So, I was going to bring something up in the executive session, and I was just wondering if we might get an update on when you anticipate that the Reeve-Schaefer vote will go forward. The reason I'm asking is that I have requested some information related to the Reeve-Schaefer property, and I haven't gotten it yet. And I would really like to have time, I'd really like for the board to have time to review the information that I've requested before that gets placed back on the agenda. And after we leave tonight, if we're back at our next meeting, it's on the agenda, I don't know that we'll have an opportunity to discuss that. And so if we need to discuss it tonight, I would, or if we could just have an agreement that we will postpone that agenda item until the information is produced and we've all had an opportunity to review that, along with some documents that I've requested pertaining to Forest Hill Heights. It's probably 150,000 documents related to Forest Hill Heights, Viridian, and the watermark alone. I'm not real sure how many more documents we're going to have pertaining to Reeve-Schaefer, but I would like for the board to have an opportunity to review that before it comes up for the third vote.
Thank you. Currently, we're setting the agenda. It's been motioned on setting the agenda. I'll answer your question after we take a vote. So the agenda has been modified and set. It's been motioned and seconded. Is there any other discussion? Please call the roll.
Alderman Barzisa?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gibson?
Yes.
Alderman Massey?
Yes.
Alderman Owens?
Yes.
Alderman Yonda?
Yes.
The agenda has been set. To just quickly, directly answer your question, the applicant for the zoning change requested being removed from the agenda. If the applicant chooses to bring that forth, that's when it will come forward. So I can't answer your question because it's in the applicant's purview. I look to our city attorney whether to concur or not.
No, that's correct. And as when we last had that before us, since then, the applicants have obtained counsel, the neighborhood has obtained counsel, and the last I heard was a couple of weeks ago they were planning to meet. But I've not heard of the outcome of that meeting. But I agree with the mayor. It was the applicant's request that it come off the agenda for third reading, and if the applicant seeks to put it back on the agenda, that's when we'll all know about it. Mr. Ross is out of town. I don't know that he's heard anything, but I am probably most likely to hear from the lawyers whenever they're prepared to come back.
And then, of course, at that particular time, if it's added back to the agenda, any alderman, when setting the agenda, can request for it to be deferred for whatever particular reasons that they may or may not have. So we can address that if the application comes back.
I have a question for the attorney. Could the mayor's administration choose not to place it on the agenda, though, until we've had the opportunity to review those documents?
I don't think that's necessarily an administration decision. If the applicant wants to be heard, they have the right to be heard. Now, they're heard by the BMA, and so the BMA would make the decision whether to hear it or defer it, vote it up or down. I think we need to await the applicant coming back to us. It's real significant that it was the applicant that pulled the request that night for the third reading, or leading up to that night. I think it was that day. And so the ball is in their court. They're the applicant.
But we, as the BMA, we only get to vote on what the administration brings to us as the agenda. So,
well, if you've got in this case, an applicant, they're bringing this request forward, and if they ask that it be heard, I think it will be heard.
But just because they bring it to the mayor's administration, I bet it is the correct way that they did it. So they bring it to the mayor's administration and ask that it be added to the agenda. It is the mayor's administration is not required, I think, at that point to add it to the next meeting's agenda. I mean, they can choose to say, we'll add this to the agenda 2 meetings from now. Is
Well,
that
no,
right?
I certainly the administration would be in communication about what night it should be heard, yes.
Yeah, so they,
I mean, it might not pick certain nights, the budget night or some night, And I think that's kind of going to be what we're going to do for the next few meetings anyway. So.
Well, just if the mayor's administration could to take that under consideration and know that we're awaiting some documents to be produced.
Certainly.
And if you could.
The answer is yes.
Thank you.
Item 5 on the agenda, approval of the minutes from April 9th, 2018. The minutes were presented to the public, and there were no modifications in executive session. Are there any modification at this particular time? Is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Gibson,
Yes.
Alderman Massey,
Yes.
Alderman Owens,
Yes.
Alderman Yonda,
Yes.
Alderman Barzizza.
Yes.
Minutes are approved. That brings us to item number 6 on the agenda, special recognition. As mentioned earlier, we have 6 different items in special recognition. Many of those are contained in the field of education. Item 6A, B, C will be presented by Vice Mayor Mary Ann Gibson, and also item D, she is the liaison to the Beautification Commission and will present item D as well. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. If I could ask Commission members Manjeet Kaur, Scott Williams to come forward, and our May 2018 Teacher of the Month Award, Mr. Peter Simmons, if you'll come forward as well. It is an honor for the Germantown Education Commission to present the May 2018 Teacher of the Month Award to Mr. Peter Simmons. Highly regarded among his peers, Mr. Simmons is the choir director at Dogwood Elementary School. Because he teaches a diverse age range of students, K through 5, Mr. Simmons deploys a diverse range of techniques and skills to be effective, and he has. His students are regularly selected for All West and All State Choir, and Dogwood students are trying out in record numbers for this year's competition. It is clear that he has been instrumental, no pun intended, in helping Dogwood students and families develop a love of music. Mr. Simmons spends countless hours outside of the choir room guiding the Dogwood Choir in before and after school rehearsals and community performances, including events at Redbird Stadium, FedEx Forum, and the Germantown Education Foundation Stampede 5K and Color Run. He serves as the faculty representative on the Dogwood Parent-Teacher Association Board and was just recently awarded the Germantown Municipal Parent-Teacher Association Council Star Award for his dedication to exemplary teaching and his commitment to Germantown students. Members of the Dogwood community reported to the commission that Mr. Simmons is a rock star and celebrity amongst Dogwood students. He is that impactful. He also finds the time somehow to serve as the music director at Christ Church in Arlington. Mr. Simmons, your award is sponsored by Principal Toyota. Please accept our appreciation for your commitment to Germantown students and to excellence every day. If I could ask our May 2018 Youth Excellence Award recipient, Mr. Matthew Stewart, to come forward. And Matthew may have had a commitment outside of school this evening. So if I could, we're going to read his bio and what the award says. Matt was described to the commission as an excellent student whose work in the classroom, his community, and his school activities as a senior at Briarcrest Christian School sets him apart from his peers. Matt's grades put him at the top of his class, and his hard work resulted in superior ACT and SAT scores. Enrolled in numerous honors and AP classes, Matt was recently named a National Merit Finalist. A member of the high school band, Matt plays percussion and leads the pep band during Briarcrest basketball games. Although his academic performance is stellar, Matt's community service and clear servant leadership is why the Commission decided to recognize Matt with the Youth Excellence Award. He truly has a heart for service to his classmates and to his community. Matt has played a key role in enhancing the religious life among students at Briarcrest, where he currently serves as Student Commissioner of Religious Activities and leads an early morning Bible study group. Additionally, he founded an organization called 901 SHIP, helping high school seniors across our community serve younger students by building mentoring relationships through fellowship activities such as safe Halloween events and pre-sporting event gatherings. Additionally, Matt has been instrumental in leading Briarcrest students to serve the community by forging a partnership with Las Americas, a ministry that provides tutoring and outreach to Hispanic students in the Hickory Hill and Summer Avenue areas of Memphis. Matt leads and trains the core of Briarcrest student volunteers who staff Las Americas events every Monday and Wednesday. In recognition of his commitment to leadership, academic excellence, and service to his community, the Germantown Education Commission is proud to present Matthew Stewart with the May 2018 Youth Excellence Award. And ladies, if I could have the varsity women's basketball team, your coaches and sponsors come forward for Houston High School. And Coach, if you'll help get us lined up. This season has been an exciting one for the Houston High School varsity women's basketball team. The Houston varsity women's basketball team made it to the big state championship game, becoming the first team in school history to make back-to-back trips to the championship level. The Lady Mustangs were named this year's runner-up in the state tournament and were the first Memphis area municipality to make it to the big championship game. The team went undefeated in the district regular season and district, regional, and sectional championships. Across the last two seasons, the team has finished with a 56-10 overall record. Well done. Members of the Houston High School varsity women's basketball team include Kelsey Trice, if you would raise your hand if Kelsey's here, Jayla Hemingway, Madison Griggs, Melissa Carter, Dariah Barnes, Destiny Wells, Zipporah Davis, Tatiana Gary, Annabelle Woodleaf, Kennedy Trice, Taylor Coleman, Hannah Powell. If we could have a big hand for our varsity.
As the Vice Mayor catches her breath here for a moment and you line up for a photo, I'm sure that you ladies are used to lining up for many photos with such a fine two-year record. We do congratulate you on representing the city of Germantown so well at the state level and making our community shine all across the state. So we do congratulate you as a Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Thank you, coaches. Thank you, ladies.
And I guess that puts me up. Mr. Mark Wall, if you will come forward. Pam, will you come forward also with Mark? And Evelyn Ward with our Beautification Commission. The purpose of this agenda item is to recognize the Farm and Fries restaurant located at 7724 Poplar Pike as the recipient of the April Beautification Commission Beautification Award. Farm and Fries is a local family-owned restaurant featuring choice grass-fed beef, fresh-cut and twice-cooked fries, and authentic, high-quality ingredients, making this Germantown restaurant a favorite dining destination. With a very high curb appeal, this property was selected by the Beautification Commission to receive the April Beautification Award. The overall design aesthetic for Farm and Fries site was a team effort between the Salvaggio Group, Michael Walker of Walker Arch, and the Waugh family. The WAS desired a modern farmhouse building that would fit with the character of the old Germantown district, stand the test of time, and support their vision for a premier restaurant on the property. The Salvaggio Group designed the exterior landscape around reclaimed antique architectural pieces in conjunction with the Jerry Smyie landscape. The plants and shrubs selected are low maintenance, mostly evergreen, and slow growing in order to achieve a subtle, distinctive look. A new design element that guests will soon enjoy is the addition of an herb and vegetable garden, and I actually saw some of them out there this week. Directly on the front patio area, Farm and Fries will be selecting and growing edible plants that will be featured as part of the restaurant menu, supporting one of its missions to serve the freshest ingredients available. The level of landscape detail, maintenance, and care of the property at this new Germantown restaurant demonstrates pride in their appearance and their commitment to helping the city look beautiful. The Beautification Commission expressed much appreciation to Farm and Fries for their efforts, and it is with great appreciation the April Commission designee, Miss Evelyn Ward, presents Mark Waugh, the owner of Farm and Fries, the April Beautification Award.
Mr. Wall, we wish you the best of success in Old Germantown, and we know that you have a great place to eat. Thank you for making Germantown your business home. We appreciate it greatly. At this time, it's my distinct honor to ask Coach Goldie Terrell to come forward, please. Coach, if you could come forward, and I would like to ask the 3 Germantown alums on the board to go and stand with Coach Terrell. Vice Mayor, can you take this to present, and I'll read from my book.
How you doing? It's good to see you.
This is a real honor for us this evening to be able to recognize such a lion of a gentleman here in this community, someone who's been a fabric of Germantown for close to 50 years. A proclamation this evening. Whereas Goldie Coach Terrell began his coaching and teaching career with the Shelby County Schools in 1970 and with Germantown High School in 1974. And whereas Coach is the longest employed Shelby County Schools employee who is currently working, and whereas he coached basketball for 37 years, including freshman boys and girls and varsity boys and girls in both assistant and head coaching capacities. And whereas Coach has modeled persistence and work ethic, mentoring not only in academics but in personal accountability and moral behavior, demanding dignity, teamwork, compassion, friendship, positivity, respect, and ethics every day in every circumstance. And whereas Coach is both revered and beloved by current and former students, and whereas Coach began his employment with Germantown Athletic Club in 1994 and continues to serve as manager on duty, he ensures a sense of community within the club, giving everyone, staff and club members alike, the feeling of being part of a team. He is a true example of service excellence, one of the city's core values. And whereas he is known to most Germantown residents because of his unwavering sincerity and outgoing personality. Now, therefore, I, Mike Palazzolo, Mayor of the City of Germantown, Tennessee, on behalf of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and all the citizens of Germantown, congratulate Goldie Coach Terrell on his many achievements and accomplishments during his tenure with Shelby County Schools, especially Germantown High School, and express great appreciation for his dedication to our community, and do hereby proclaim this to be Goldie Coach Terrell Day in Germantown.
So Mayor, Coach Terrell would like to say a few words, but before he does, I would just like to say that the culture of respect that Coach Terrell promoted, encouraged at Germantown High School, there was not a time that he saw me in the halls that he did not stop and say hello to Miss Roberts. And then again, my time at the athletic center when I had 3 little ones trailing behind me, that he was not kind. And so I'm going to turn this microphone over to him, but with much appreciation for teaching us how to model.
You're a nice lady. Thank you all very much. I promise you I won't be long. You know, I could be here a long time. But I have the utmost respect for people like Mr. Lawton, all of you aldermen, the mayor, everybody that supports Germantown High School, Houston High, Germantown Athletic Club. I'm really glad that Lisa is here. I'm glad that Phil is here. Both of those people made the Germantown Athletic Club a great place to work, and I enjoy it, and I hope they don't run me away. Phil's been nice to let me stay, and I hope he'll let me stay a few more years. I had some co-workers from Germantown High. The lady who's the chairman of the English department, Miss Jackson, came. She's really, 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 really nice. Miss Jacobson came, and Coach Martin. All 3 of them are really, really, really nice. Like I said, Phil is here, and I saw Andrew and Amy. They came over tonight also.
Right over there, Coach.
I just want everybody in Germantown to understand, hey, I grew up in Millington, but I do appreciate all of you all. I have been teaching for 48 years, and I'll be honest with you, I had planned on going for 50. My goal was 50. That's what I wanted to do. But it looks like they're going to run me away, so I'm going to go on and leave. But I promise you, thanks to the athletic club and all the good equipment that Phil has over there, I keep my body in pretty good shape. Not excellent shape, but pretty good shape. But I do appreciate, honestly, everything Mr. Lawton and the mayor and everything that you all have done here in G-Town. You make it a great, great, great place to live. I'm friends with the policemen. I'm friends with the aldermen. I treat them all nice. The firemen, when they come up to the center, I welcome them in. Hey, it's a great place. And Phil has it looking really, really, really great. And you all are welcome to come anytime. And by the way, Germantown High is still a good place too. God bless y'all.
Thank you, Coach. Wow. Well, Coach, we love you. There's no doubt about that. That brings us to item, we won't be able to top this either. I'm sorry, Clerk Betty. That brings us to item F on the agenda, a proclamation on behalf of Municipal Clerks Week, and our clerks are very important to us here in Germantown and also throughout the state. Let me go ahead and read the proclamation into the record. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, and whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, province, county, and international professional organizations, and whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk, now therefore I, Mike Palazzolo, Mayor of the City of Germantown, do recognize the week of May 6th through May 12th as Municipal Clerks Week. Clerk Betty, we do appreciate your work so much, and you just returned from your state conference, and you do a fine job for our city. Thank you. That concludes our special recognition portion of our agenda this evening. This takes us now to Alderman liaison reports. We go position 1 through 5. Alderman Barzizza.
Thank you, Mayor. The Senior Commission had their and very well-attended spring seminar and just this last week. The Historic Commission will meet tomorrow, and Economic Development Commission will meet next week. Actually, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Alderman. Vice Mayor Gibson.
Thank you, Mayor. The Germantown Education Commission is preparing for this Thursday, April 26th, here at City Hall. We will have the education celebration. Our keynote speaker will be Mr. Paul Chandler. We will invite the community to celebrate education in Germantown with the awarding of the Student Teacher and the Marjorie Reapy Teacher of the Year Awards. I wanted to thank one of our landmark businesses. I know that we've spoken of this before. Mr. Walker Taylor at the Germantown Commissary has been a part of the West Tennessee Veterans Home Give Back program, and we thank him for that contribution. And because of that initial donation, again, to the West Tennessee Veterans Home, another local business, Marco's Pizza, will be holding a Community Give Back Day on Thursday, May 17th, where 10% of the sales will be donated to the West Tennessee Veterans Home. For Beautification Commission, we will be meeting this Monday, Monday, May 7th at the Parks and Rec office at 5:30. We'll be wrapping up the community projects for the season. Neighborhood Preservation Commission met this past weekend, holding a subcommittee meeting for the Neighborhood Summit, and save the date for that event will be October 23rd, so plenty of planning between now and then. And if I could finish with information on our library. This past week, over 100 library volunteers attended their annual appreciation dinner. And they heard many wonderful things that they have been doing these last 9 months. Over 300,661 books have been checked out, which if you put that for number of pages, over almost 45 million pages read. 173,000 visits to the library and to the Regional History and Genealogy Center. In addition to connecting youth and adults with reading, the library and Regional History and Genealogy Center, they host educational and leisure classes on a wide array of topics. And in the last 9 months, there have been 286 adult programs with 5,500 attendees, 794 youth programs with just under 17,000 attendees, which if you were to average that, that would be 3 classes a day for every day of the year. The success of the library would not be possible without our exceptional staff and the leadership of our library director, Mr. Daniel Page, and those amazing volunteers. Since July, we've had 522 volunteers complete 8,400 volunteer hours. Friends of the library, they've donated close to $200,000 to the library, but this year they actually set a record for financial donations in a single year. And Daniel, thank you so much for helping us with those numbers. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Alderman Massey.
Briefly, I just want to say thank you to the members of the Environmental Commission who worked Amnesty Dumpster Day this past Saturday. So that's it. Thank you, both. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Owens.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, Parks and Recreation will meet this Thursday night. The Design Review Commission meets tomorrow night, and the Planning Commission does not have a meeting in May. But I would like to say a brief word of thanks, extend thanks to Campbell Clinic and the Healthy Germantown for the support of launching the city's first bike share program last week. Stations are at the Germantown Athletic Club and at Cameron Brown Park, and you can find out information about our bike share program at zagster.com by entering the city's zip code. That's my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Yonda.
Thank you, Mayor. I've had a Financial Advisory Commission meeting last Tuesday. It was on special revenue funds, which is like state street aid, Pickering Center, Recreation Fund, federal asset and drug forfeiture funds, ambulance, farm park, Germantown Municipal School District. This week we have a meeting on Tuesday, and we're going to be reviewing the general fund, which ought to be fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. And quickly from the Mayor's office, just wanted to say thank you to our very capable and award-winning water department. Thank you, Bo Mills, for going on my behalf Friday to pick up our award from the state of Tennessee for Water Fluoridation Quality Award. We've always known we've had great water in Germantown, but this reinforces it as well. So please share my thanks to the water department, and to echo the sentiments of Alderman Massey. Thank you to your staff for Amnesty Day. I spent a couple hours at Southern Avenue Saturday morning early, and that crew really embodies our excellence every day. They unload the cars, and I know they're getting paid, but they're extremely courteous to our residents, saying thank you, had great conversations with our residents. Our residents are very, very thoughtful towards our public works employees. I got many compliments on your fine gentlemen, so please pass that along to all those that worked at both Southern Avenue and Johnson Road. And Alderman Owens stole a little bit of my thunder on the bike share launch. We're very excited with that partnership with Campbell Clinic, Healthy Germantown, the Athletic Club, and of course Parks and Rec. And it is true, I beat Alderman Owens in the inaugural bike launch. And so I'm sorry I had to show you up on the Greenway, Alderman, but maybe you let me win, I'm not sure. That concludes our Alderman liaison reports for this evening.
Mayor?
Yes.
I think, Alderman Massey, do we have the drug thing on Saturday? The drug drop-off? Who's in charge of that?
Yes.
Public safety? It's at Target? Where else?
Go ahead,
Yes,
Chief.
it'll be at the Kroger this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Thank you. Thank you for making that announcement as well. That brings us to item number 8 on the agenda, citizens to be heard. Any sheets this evening, Clerk? All right, great. We'll move now to item number 9 on the agenda. We will take a short recess as the Board of Mayor and Aldermen and now convene as the Germantown Beer Board. I bring to order the Germantown Beer Board for the hearing of an application for beer permit for off-premise application, Quick Shop number 201. Mr. Lawton.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. There is a change of ownership at the Quick Shop number 201 located at 9423 Poplar Avenue. EG Retail will now have 100% ownership through a sale of this asset by Kroger. The applicant is Junior Foods, and they will operate and manage the store under the Quick Shop name. The application, background checks, public notice regarding tonight's public hearing are attached to your application and your agenda material. The application is in compliance with the city's ordinance regarding the sale of beer for off-premise consumption, and the administration recommends approval.
Thank you, Mr. Lawton. If the applicant is the applicant here this evening, if you could just come down to the first seat and be prepared if there are any questions here in a moment. Is there a motion to approve the request of Junior Food Stores of West Florida, Inc. for a permit to sell beer for off-premise consumption at Quick Shop number 201 located at 9423 Poplar Avenue?
Move to approve.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. This particular application requires a public hearing. I will now open a public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to come forward and speak on this particular application for off-premise beer permit? Is there anyone who would like to come forward and speak to the beer board? Third and final call. Anyone who would like to speak to the beer board on this particular application? See no one come forward. I conclude the public hearing and we return to any questions of staff or the applicant.
Yes, Mayor.
Alderman Barzizza.
Yes, your staff will be intact. There's no real change in management or.
Okay, step forward, and if you could press the button, it should be, if it's green, it may be on. All right, and then state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name's Craig Fox. Say address.
Yes.
I live at 615 Balfour, West Memphis, Arkansas.
Thank you.
I manage the Quick Shop that we're talking about.
Go ahead and answer the Alderman's question.
Okay.
Again, the question is, there's no change in management or staff.
No, sir. They actually bought the Quick Shop Tom Thumb corporate office. It's everybody's the same.
So everyone is fully trained in regards to selling to minors.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for staff or this particular applicant? It's been properly motioned and seconded. There's no further discussion. Please call the roll.
Alderman Massey?
Yes.
Alderman Owens?
Yes.
Alderman Yonda?
Yes.
Alderman Barzizza?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gibson?
Yes.
The motion carries and is approved. That concludes our business as a beer board. We are adjourned as a beer board and reconvene as a Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Sir, thank you for coming this evening. You may leave if you choose. That brings us to the consent agenda. As mentioned earlier, when the agenda was set, 2 items were moved to consent agenda. I'll go through the consent agenda item by item. Item 10A, contract, Musco LED sports lighting and controls. Item 10B, construction contract, Johnson Road Water Treatment Plant roof replacement. Item 10C, contract extension, tennis professional services. Item 10D, reimbursement, overtime for police. Item 10E, service contract, well Southern Avenue number 3 and Johnson Road, well 3, maintenance and repair. Item F on the agenda, change order number 1, Germantown Athletic Club renovation phase 3, project closeout. Item G, resolution 18R09, participation in purchasing cooperative arrangement for procurement purposes. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as modified?
Move to approve.
And I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Alderman Owens,
Yes.
Alderman Yonda,
Yes.
Alderman Barzizza,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gibson.
Yes.
Alderman Massey.
Yes.
Consent agenda carries and is approved. 2 items from the regular agenda were moved to consent agenda, so there is no regular agenda. We are now adjourned. Thank you for being here this evening.